kind of starts here, I think. SA 2020 downtown development. This is the core. This is the center of what everything is all about. This is why we do what we do. So part of our charge was, as downtown development's action team, is to come up with a game plan, if you will, that piggybacks on top of the visions that are already laid out in SA 2020 as part of the community involvement. So we're trying to draw that streamline between the line of continuity between where they started and where we need to be. So we had to ask ourselves many questions. So we went through we did some research, and we asked ourselves under core purpose, for example, like, why are we doing all this? What is all this for? And the idea, again, is just to try to identify a theme. You have SA 2020, which covers a big umbrella of ideas, and then you have the core purpose, which is our charge, is to go through and say, what is our theme for this particular exercise? And we chose the live, work, and play theme as the charge that we can move forward with, something we can actually measure and something good. So, just to reiterate, our core purpose partially is to encourage jobs, housing, entertainment activities in the downtown area, and looking for our target audience. Who are the people we're going to go after to make this happen? And it's obviously anybody who looks to fit in that theme of live, work, and play. We want to target those individuals that we think are going to be more likely to come live, work, and play in downtown San Antonio. So what are our drivers? The drivers that we come up with after we developed our theme of live, work, and play, how do we marry those up with the key thrusts of our analysis with traffic, safety, and life services? And life services, of course, being things such as local conveniences like grocery stores, fast food restaurants, some small retail chains, things of that nature. And it's a coined phrase, I think, that Mr. Mayor quoted in a newspaper article one time that said that was the chicken or the egg thing with the grocery store, having to have its population has to be there to support one. We know it's a very hot button issue with our target audience, and those are the kinds of things that we found that were consistent with in our research. That was consistent with the community involvement for Vision SA 2020.
So you're probably interested to hear how we came up with the whole life services, traffic, and safety. And what our action team did is we literally just sat there, the group of 7 of us, and literally wrote down why we wouldn't work downtown, why we wouldn't live downtown, why we wouldn't play downtown. And those were kind of the 3 key themes that out of our group of how that came about. So to ensure we weren't, causing groupthink or, thinking in the weeds and really get it out on a global perspective, we decided, we're going to ask San Antonio community. So what we did is we developed a survey and that asked, 200 San Antonians, very diverse group. Some of them currently live down there, some of them currently work, some play, some don't do any, really of what their thoughts on downtown were. And what was really cool that came out of it was that their thoughts were the same as our groups. That the most important things to them were safety, traffic, and life services. And so, however, the challenges are, you can see the importance is on the left, how important it is for those to them, but their current perception. Those don't match up. And so really, we're tasked with how do we get those more balanced with one another. So really what we did was we took the safety, traffic, life services and looked at what the key themes kind of popped up under each one of those. And really you can see here, the main themes. So I really want to touch on, kind of the public transit, light rail system, streetcar. There's been a lot of talk in the news recently about what that looks like for San Antonio. And that was the most predominant one. You have quick, easy access to Alamo Dome, AT&T Center, SeaWorld, things like that. It's really going to relieve a lot of that congestion downtown. People don't need to drive down there as much. If they live down there, don't have a car, things like that. So that's kind of the main theme for under the traffic. In regards to safety, here on the next slide was, things such as lighting, police presence, street cleanliness. Again, not a lot of stuff that's probably groundbreaking. Anybody in this room probably could sit here and say, oh, just rattle it off the top of their head. But I think that's a good thing because it means everybody's on the same page of, okay, we know what's important to San Antonio, now what do we do with that? So under street cleanliness, an idea was, keep clean crew, where it's just volunteers that paint over graffiti, pick up trash, plant trees and bushes, work closely with neighborhood watch patrols and, the SAPD, going back to Mark's presentation about how underdeveloped areas, it's human nature to think, okay, graffiti and trash, this isn't a safe area, so if we've got downtown residents and business owners who will work together, just a couple hours a month, to paint over a sidewalk or whatnot, I think will go a long ways. And then in regards to life services, again, as Damian mentioned, gas stations, grocery stores, things like that. The city's done a great job recently of getting some corporate headquarters moved down there, such as Argo Group and iMasters and things like that. But how do we engage companies such as HEB, Valero, Texas Med Clinic to open retail locations down there, so they have the grocery stores, the gas stations, the emergency clinics and things like that. So continue with the tax breaks and the rebates and the free parking. Go after companies, like Adele and Round Rock and get them to move to San Antonio. It doesn't have to just be San Antonio based. So really, in conclusion, you can see kind of these three areas of traffic, safety, and life services really kind of intertwine with not only one another, but with the other action groups, economic competitiveness, things like that. So with that being said, our group is definitely looking forward to collaborating with the other action teams and begin implementing some of these steps to help SA 2020 achieve their goals of increasing housing and jobs.